Hey guys, it's Ursi. Today we're going to break down 4 different deck lists used by the very first players to hit Master Ball in Pokemon Pocket's new ranked ladder. And we got them directly from the players themselves. If you want to know what actually works at the highest level, not just theory, but real tested builds, then this is going to be it. So let's get into it. Okay, so our first list we're going to talk about today is Darkrai EX and Weavile EX, also commonly called Dark Vile. This is a really fast tempo deck that can capitalize on the fact that to scale up rank and climb in the rankings, you need to get a lot of games done. I'll shortly show you why it can be so fast paced, but Sigan actually is proving here, right, that it's not only great for climbing fast, but it's also still really great once you get up to Master Ball, and it's a competitive deck that he thinks is really, really good. So we start off with Sneasel and Darkrai, right? Even if we're going first, we can have a really fast attack that can often overpower and out-tempo most decks. And we're going to be using the combo using Dawn. So you see the one Dawn down here in the bottom left corner. The ideal start, let's say you're going first, right, is you have a Sneasel in the active, you pass to your opponent, they don't knock out that Sneasel, and then turn 2, you're able to evolve that Sneasel to a Weavile. And you put that Darkrai on the bench, you attach your energy to the Darkrai, it pings 20 to the active Pokemon, and then you use Dawn to move that energy up to Weavile, who can then attack for 70, because of the ping, right, it is now able to attach for 70, and overall you do 90 damage. And a really fast start like that is almost disastrous to come back for. And let's say you do go second, right, you do go second, then you can just go and attach to Sneasel, attack with Sneasel, turn to do the same thing, but this time you don't need that Dawn. So this really fast-paced tempo is going to be so nice in just getting really fast and quick games done before your opponent even has time to set up. To help make sure that you do get an evolution Pokemon, we are running 1 communication. There's 2 Pokeball and 2 research to obviously find your basics and also draw through your cards. Then we're going to be seeing 2 capes here, and capes are going to be really nice because Darkrai EX and Weavile EX are both 140 health, which is in range of a lot of knockouts, but with the cape at 160, it's really hard to one-shot these Pokemon. There is also going to be that Sabrina. So one thing I can think of with the Sabrina is oftentimes opponents are going to be trying to hide their Pokemon on the bench that they're trying to set up. Let's say like a Charmander, or even like those Giratina X's that you're trying to set up, even behind like a Druddigon, you're able to then Sabrina up a Pokemon and knock it, or even just ping it with that Darkrai attack. Pokemon that are damaged, right, they are going to try to retreat them and hide them and protect them on their bench again. And as such, we do also run 2 Cyruses in this deck. We also run 1 Leaf in the case that you start with Darkrai instead of that Sneasel, or you need to pull Darkrai off the active spot and back onto your bench. But something that I find a really interesting addition to this deck is actually going to be the Team Rocket Grunt that flips coins until you hit a tails, and for every heads you hit, it's going to be 1 energy taken off the active Pokemon. So the entire point of this deck is to outpace your opponent, right? But once a lot of times those Pokemon are able to get set up, 90 damage a turn is not enough, and a lot of the times these Pokemon are close to one-shotting your Weavile or your Darkrai. So if you can then get that Team Rocket Grunt off and take the energy off of their Pokemon, then you set them back to stage 1 and you're still swinging for almost 90 per turn. So this makes for a really strong deck, not only to climb, right, but to continue to win games in Master Ball as well. Okay, guys, so let me show you another one now. It's going to be another similar, another familiar deck for a lot of people, and it's going to be Charizard Moltres. There's going to be 1 Shaman to help with healing, but you're going to be running the new Shining Revelry, Charmander, and Charmeleon that have a really nice curve. 1, 2 energies, right? No discard on that Charmander, which is really nice. You always have Moltres in this list, and it is going to be that old genetic Apex Charizard. So you want to start in the active with Moltres. You're not going to put down a Charmander until you actually can attach energy to the Moltres and use Infernal Dance. And then obviously you're going to Infernal Dance turn after turn after turn, get those energies on Charmander, Charmeleon, and Charizard. And that's going to be one of the hardest things, I'm being honest, is actually going to be getting that Charizard up and running. All those evolutions can be difficult. But that being said, we are actually going to be running 2 communications in this list that are going to help find those Charizards and the different evolutions. There's X-Speed in the case that we start with Charmander, or that Shaman in the active instead of the Moltres, or once the Charizard is powered up to help retreat that Moltres as well. Then obviously you're running 1 cape to help protect Moltres or Shaman or Charmander or Charmeleon. Luckily Charizard is one of those biggest, bulkiest Pokemon in the game. So sometimes you do attach the cape to Charizard, but not that often. And then you're having that 1 Giovanni. I think it's really interesting. It allows Moltres to attack and to knock out a lot of those fighting box Pokemon. So Glade really hard, or fighting decks really hard against, are really well positioned against Charizard. But if you have that Giovanni, you can one-shot, right, with your Moltres into like your Marshadow or the Hitmonlee and Pokemon like that, instead of having to still 2-shot that Pokemon. And then we also have a Dawn to allow you to attach energy up to Charizard Phoenix energy, or even into Moltres to be able to attack for 70 earlier. And I am so happy that we got to see a really great Charizard deck. I am a huge Charizard fan, and this deck is from Yamamu Gaming. He is a YouTuber, and you can also find him on Twitter. I'm pretty sure he actually has a YouTube video you can see linked here if you want to see exactly how he's running this deck. But I think Charizard is a great choice, especially because of how strong it is against Giratina EX and Darkrai EX, which are some of the strongest decks in the set right now. With that being said, let's actually get in some of the new decks that came out with Shining Revelry, and I want to give a huge shout out as well to 8P Cheese. He is a weekly player. Oftentimes there's a Pokemon Pocket Weekly, but he and I chatted at length about the Masquerada Executor list as well as the Giratina Darkrai list. He's got a really interesting twist on it, so I will show you that list last. But he was able to hit Master Ball, and this is the first list that I talked to you guys about. Masquerada, a little bit of a sleeper card when we were first looking at the set. I kind of didn't like Masquerada because I was like 130 damage only into EXs isn't enough. And at that, it's a stage 2 Pokemon. But you're going to be hiding, you're going to want to start with the Execute here, or the Baby Egg. And this Baby Egg, another deck, right, that is great going first. You go first, you put the egg down, you can put a Sprigatito in the back, because you do need to evolve it up to a Masquerada. And then your second turn, you're going to go and evolve to Executor EX, and that Pokemon is going to do base 40 damage every single turn with upwards of 80 damage. And that's going to be really, really strong. I'm so excited to play this deck myself. But then on the back, you're going to be powering up and creating, right, that Sprigatito, evolving it up all the way to the Masquerada, who only for 2 energies can swing for upwards of 130 damage. And Darkrai is weak to grass, so it's actually doing 150 into Darkrai. We are in this list, though, also going to be running a red, and that means that 150 could, we can even be doing 150 against other decks as well, 170 into very specific ones, so even then you still knock out Darkrai with those, Darkrai with a cape on it, and that can also be used for Execute, who's going to be putting some really quick and fast damage out as well. This list is running a cape that can help bring Masquerada up to 160 health, or the Executor EX to 180 health. It is running 1 Cyrus, 1 Sabrina that are going to help you bring out the Pokemon you want to be able to attack. And you're also going to be running Erica that allows you to heal every single turn. And that's going to be so, so, so nice. I'm so excited to try out this list. It looks really strong, but I'm kind of afraid to try it, so we'll see how it goes. Let me know if you like this deck down below, and tell me how you're faring with these different lists. Finally, though, I think this is my highlight list. I watched AP Cheese play this deck at length on his stream this morning, and it was so interesting and so cool. This is 2 Giratina EX, 2 Darkrai EX, and 2 Arceus EX. And I had never really thought even about this combo with Dawn. He's running 2 Dawn. So, like, I saw 1 turn, right? he attached to his Arceus, he bellowed with his Giratina, and then the following turn, he donned up the energy and attached with the Arceus and was able to swing for 130 because his bench was also full. And that is so strong. It was so awesome to watch. Or even like the Darkrai wasn't fully set up at one point. He puts Darkrai up. He was able to don up an energy to that Darkrai, and he's already swinging for the 80, right? I think this deck is so interesting, and this Dawn really synergizes so well with a self-ramping Pokemon like Giratina. I'm definitely going to be playing this deck. It's so cool. It's also running 2 reds so that Arceus can swing to 150 without type advantage. Dialga can do 100, 120 if you got a hand attach onto it. And 1 Cyrus to help pull those Pokemon back in that you damaged that are running away to the bench. 1 Sabrina to help pull Pokemon away, pull Pokemon into the active spot that were hiding on the bench. Also, 2 Leafs to help move those different Pokemon around and not have to discard the energy because, like I said, there's Dawn in this list. So you don't want to have to needlessly discard energy when you could be moving it up into the active. And then also 2 Capes to bring that Giratina to 170, that Darkrai to 160, and that Arceus to 160 as well. And then 2 Pokeball to research. This deck was so cool to watch on his stream this morning. Definitely check out AP Cheese's YouTube if you want to see how to run this deck. But let me know what you guys think. I am so excited to see everyone's deck as I start getting to Master Ball. I think Rank has been such a great addition to Pokemon Pocket, and I cannot wait to see more creative decks that do well on the ladder. If you like this video, don't forget to leave a comment about what deck you're going to try on the ladder, and tell me what you think about these 4. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. We're going to be having another YouTube video out very shortly. So guys, thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a great day, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye.